If we didn't win, it was a shock.
The culture of the club and the city and the power of the support, there was no reason to doubt that this shouldn't go on indefinitely.
We kind of got to that point where we won the league and went, OK, see you again in August.
It was the 28th of April 1990, the last league title win. As a city, Liverpool was a very different place to the one that exists today.
Thatcherism and everything else that goes with it. Football was a release, and that was their release valve on a Saturday afternoon, as it was then. It was a wonderful place to be, although there was a lot of problems.
When you hit in 1990, you've had the real grim early 80s, you know, the Boys from the Black Stuff era that people are familiar with. You get to about 1989, 1990, the city starts to become something else. It starts to become built very much for me on the rave culture at the time. You look at the success of the early days of Cream and of the State and Quadrant Park. Liverpool suddenly becomes this destination for clubbing, and on the back of that it becomes this destination for students to move in because of the clubbing.
I'd been to Liverpool University from 18, so I'd left at 21, and I think I was still living an extended student life, which was just going out, and Liverpool was a great place to live in and go out there. It wasn't as, I suppose it wasn't as glamorous and as, developed as it is now. Everything was a bit rawer, but I actually in a way liked it more that way. The little underground club scene was great, the music scene was great. And I was following Liverpool length and breadth of the country, winning trophies.
We lost in front of the home supporters last year, and what a tremendous boost that is for them.
Does that make up for the disappointment of last year?
Yes, of course, aye.
A year earlier, Arsenal had wrestled the title from Liverpool's grasp after the club and city was struck by the Hillsborough disaster.
To be on the pitch on that day and see it unfold from their vantage point, I don't know what that does to them. We can never know what that does to the players.
It's still there now to a certain extent, although there's a certain amount of closure on it. But it was then, very much. It was in the forefront of everybody. Tough, yeah, tough mentally.
Everybody in Liverpool of my generation knows how easily it could have been us who were directly affected in some way. So it was a time where a lot of people took stock of where they were in their lives.
The period immediately after Hillsborough, I think there was a sense that we wanted to win the league, the double, for the people that had died, for the city. It felt like a mission. That was a very emotional time in those immediate few months after Hillsborough. And I think 1990 felt like a new start of sorts. I think people were ready to begin again, to try and get back into football.
The 1990 season saw order restored on the pitch. Liverpool were back on top and claimed their 18th league title.
They were the big game players in that team that you looked on and you could bank on.
It's just too many, isn't it? I mean, Barnes, he was sensational. But Rushies, of course, you hang out on them to score goals for fun. Even when Aldo come in for the short period of time, sensational. Ronnie Whelan was cool as a cucumber.
Glenn Hussein had come in. He was the Swedish captain, and he had a great season. He was one of the great disappointments of my life because that was his only good season.
My very first game was the last time Liverpool won the league. I was 8 years old, and I remember my dad coming back saying he had 2 tickets and showing me these tickets which looked like, you know, like Willy Wonka's golden tickets to me, you know, these 2 tickets for Anfield.
We knew that games occasionally were tight and tough, and tactically we had to be aware, and we found a way. We'd make sure that we manufactured a way, we'd change our game accordingly.
I remember QPR scored first, and my dad saying not to worry, telling me not to worry, it'll be fine, and then Rushy and John Barnes scored and we won it, and then the news came through that Liverpool had won the title, and they did the parade, and I just remember standing on my chair, because obviously I was so short, I was only 8, with my scarf singing "You Never Walk Alone," thinking, going, the match is brilliant, this is great, you know, it's going to be like this forever.
But when Kenny Dalglish left his post midway through the following season, it signalled the end of an era.
When Kenny left, it was a new era for and I know Suey came in. And it was difficult for Graham, and by his own admission, he'd have changed. He wouldn't have done a lot of things he did when he first came into the football club. It takes a long time, I've said it, to build an empire. It takes very quickly to knock it down.
That empire quote is right. I think things can quickly spiral out of control. I think there then becomes a determination, there was with Liverpool, to then try and do what you'd done in the past. Bringing back Roy Evans was a bit of that. I think Souness tried to correct. He says I did too much too soon, but in a way maybe he didn't do enough.
There's a lot of mistakes made by the club in the 90s, and United used the 90s as a chance to build as a commercial proposition, as a football proposition, and they take our place in that time.
There's been 3 years sort of in my adult supporting life, if you guess, where we have felt close. 01-02 was under Hourier, and that felt we were really building something, and that was a bit of a shame where it went away. 08-09 under Rafa was a great team, but it did feel like things were starting to unravel a little bit, and you could tell already what was going on with Hicks and Gillette. 13-14 won an amazing season, so much fun to watch, but it was built on sand in the end, wasn't it, with Suarez and Gerrard's last swan song and everything kind of going on. But the swashbuckling football team, it was great to watch. This does feel different. I think, look, Liverpool fans were desperate to win the title. It's all we think about, it's all we talk about. If they do it this year, it'll be amazing. It'll be a big party. It'll be bigger than the party in 1990, where I think everyone just went home.
Has it become all-consuming, do you feel?
Yes. All-consuming to the point that our Twitter presence can be a little poisonous at times. There are a lot of people who are overreacting after one loss, overreacting after one draw.
I can't enjoy the process because I kind of want it to be over and know what happens.
You can see all the emotions going on, and I get it. I see it, and I get the players and Jürgen and the supporters, because they wanted so much, so badly. You can reach out and almost touch it.
Now, you've won so many things as a player and a manager. I wonder if it still gives you as much satisfaction to win something like this again.
Well, the most important thing is the last one, isn't it? And the most recent one. And I think you can tell by the reaction of everybody here that they enjoy winning.